Dear ambassadors, dear members of the European Parliament, dear guests, dear friends, it gives me today a great pleasure to introduce you Tomasz Poręba, if needed, President of New Direction since 2014, members of the European Parliament since 2009, leader of the campaign in 2019 for the European Parliament. Thanks to him, we got the biggest Polish delegation ever, but also, last but not least, Vice President of the Polish Olympic Committee. Tomasz, the floor is you. Please give him a warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Witold. I'm also the president of New Direction think tank. I'm honored to be president for 6 years. It's a great pleasure for me. Welcome all of you here in Tallinn. And I would like to welcome a lot of intellectuals, a lot of friends, because this is the second edition of our think tank central conference organized under the umbrella of New Direction. And I'm definitely sure that the same like last year in Lisbon, it will be very successful, very constructive, very interesting conference, which will be followed by many reports and many thoughts, intellectual, conservative thoughts, which will be delivered to the different places around the world. This year, there are more than 50 organizations participating in our think tank central conference, with the closest coming from here, from Estonia, and also for farthest having traveled from Japan. As I mentioned, think tank central for us is the most important event of the year because it's the representation of everything we, as a New Direction, are trying to achieve. Our aim is to bring together not just conservatives from the different part of the world, but to bring together different conservative ideas, different conservative thoughts, different conservative proposals, which would strengthen our presence in the different institutions, different environments, political, intellectual environments in Europe and around the world. For us, this is the common sense. We want to bring together these different elements of the center-right because we know that we all share similar values, principles, and the same direction. And that only by working together, we can create a strong center-right alliance to defend and promote our beliefs. This year's event, this conference, is especially important because our beliefs and our values are under the direct attack. Not just politically, but with strong barbarian force delivered from Russia. South from here, in Ukraine, brave men and women are fighting for our core values. They are fighting for sovereignty, for their homes, for their families, and most of all for their freedom. But I'm definitely sure they are also fighting for our freedom. When the conflict started in February, we as a New Direction didn't hesitate to offer our full support to Ukraine. From the first days, we were committed to working with a coalition of think tanks, and we could deliver key help where it was needed. Within days, we had produced one of the first reports on war crimes in Ukraine. We helped to connect the Ukrainian government with the key experts to continue this reporting and to start the conversation about how to extract reparation from the Russian regime. This is why, my colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, this conference has been given the title Defending Freedom, and why we have chosen to bring it to the eastern frontier of the European Union. We are here in Estonia because we want to send a message to Russia and especially to Kremlin that we are not afraid of you, we will not give up our freedom to you, and that we will fight to defend our freedom against you. Let me now reflect on the great legacy of New Direction founder, the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, who demonstrated great global leadership when it came to our values. She led the early efforts to help spread Western conservative thoughts around the world. But also another great hero of the freedom movement, Professor Lech Kaczyński, Polish president, who was ahead of his time in recognizing the threat that we face to peace in our time from the authoritarian regime in Russia. Let me again repeat his words from Tbilisi in 2008. Today, Georgia, tomorrow, Ukraine, the day after tomorrow, the Baltic states. And perhaps time will come for my country. Perhaps later time will come for my country, Poland. These words should be remembered, always remembered, and always reminded for those people who want to treat relation with Russia like a business as usual. New Direction has constantly stood on the side of those who defend our freedom in Europe and around the world. And so, we are proud to have all of you here with us as like-minded organizations who share our vision. New Direction is also constantly working to expand our intellectual conservative family and promote Europe as a place where people respect each other and the values are respected, and the differences between each unique member state are valued and respected. I'm definitely sure that we are and we should remain a Europe of 27 unique member states, but not United States of Europe. We must reject the double standards mostly delivered by the European Commission that wants to govern more and more on our daily lives. We cannot sit by as a faceless bureaucrats continue to micromanage our everyday details. Part of our fight for freedom is the continued struggle at home to defend what we love and what we value. It is the vision of the New Direction and the wider conservative movement that we protect what we make and treat as a unique. Being united in diversity means protecting those things that we value the most, our homes, families, and tradition. This is what we should promote and what we should protect. This is our great goal, this is our great challenge, this is our great expectation to protect, to promote conservative values around the world. Also, thanks to such conferences like we are facing today, we would like to produce a report which will be distributing in the different places, in different institutions, mostly in the European Union, mostly in Brussels. Colleagues, friends, I think that conservative values must be defended now, and we shouldn't any longer stay in the corner, and we should be courageous and we should be absolutely open-minded to promote our principles. This is what I would like to ask you about today, thanking all of you, intellectuals, professors, members of the European Parliament, National Parliament. I would like to wish you absolutely great conference, and let me be in touch also with Witold and Robert, my closest cooperators, in the future in order to organize the same event in the different capitals around the world. Wish you great debate, great successful talks, and see you soon in the different event, conference, and different places. Thank you very much.